A very long time ago, there was a rich man who had a beautiful and pious wife, and they loved each other very much. Though they did not have any children, they longed to have some. Day and night the wife prayed for a child, but still none came, and everything remained the same. Now, in front of the house there was a yard, and in the yard stood a juniper tree. One day, during winter, the wife was under the tree peeling an apple, and as she was peeling it, she cut her finger and her blood dripped on the snow. "Oh," said the wife, and she heaved a great sigh. While she looked at the blood before her, she became quite sad. "If only I had a child as red as blood and as white as snow." Upon saying that, her mood changed and she became very cheerful, for she felt something might come of it. Then she went home. After a month, the snow vanished. After 2 months, everything turned green. After 3 months, the flowers sprouted from the ground. After 4 months, all the trees in the woods grew more solid, and the green branches became intertwined. Soon the 5th month passed, full of birds, and when the wife stood under the juniper tree, it smelled so sweetly that she fell down on her knees. When the 6th month had passed, the fruit was large and firm, and she was quite still. In the 7th month, she picked the juniper berries and ate them so avidly that she became sad and sick. After the 8th month passed, she called her husband to her and wept. "If I die," she said, "bury me under the juniper tree." After that, she was quite content and relieved until the 9th month had passed. Then she had a child as white as snow and as red as blood. When she saw the baby, she was greatly delighted. And then, quietly, she died. Her husband buried her under the juniper tree, and he wept with all his heart. After some time, he felt much better, but he still wept every now and then. Eventually, he stopped, and after still more time passed, he took another wife. With his second wife, he had a daughter, while the child from his first wife was a little boy who was as red as blood and as white as snow. Whenever the woman looked at her daughter, she felt great love for her, but whenever she looked at the little boy, her heart was cut to the quick. She could not forget that he would always stand in her way and prevent her daughter from inheriting everything. Thus, the devil took hold of her and influenced her feelings towards the boy until she became quite cruel towards him, so that the poor child lived in constant fear. One time, the woman went up to her room and her little daughter followed her and said, "Mother, give me an apple." "Yes, my child," said the woman, and she gave her a beautiful apple from the chest that had a large, heavy lid with a sharp iron lock. "Mother," said the little daughter, "shouldn't brother get one too?" The woman was irritated by the remark, but she said, "Yes, as soon as he comes home from school." And when she looked out of the window and saw he was coming, her heart hardened and sharpened. The little boy came through the door, and his mother asked, "Would you like to have an apple, my son?" Yet she gave him a fierce look. "Mother," said the little boy, "how ferocious you look. Yes, give me an apple." "Come over here," she said as she lifted the lid. "Take out an apple for yourself." And as the little boy leaned over the chest, her hardened heart pricked her, and crash! She slammed the lid so hard that his head flew off and fell among the apples.
Oh, no.
Straight away, she went up to her room and fetched a white kerchief from a drawer. She put the boy's head back on his neck and tied the neckerchief around it so nothing could be seen. Then she set him on a chair in front of the door and put the apple in his hand. Some time later, the little girl came into the kitchen. "Mother," she said, "brother's sitting by the door and looks very pale. He's got an apple in his hand. I asked him to give me the apple, but he didn't answer, and I was very scared." "Go back to him," said the mother, "and if he doesn't answer, give him a box on the ear." So she did as she was told, and in a sickening instant, his head fell off. The little girl was so frightened that she began to cry. Then she ran to her mother and said, "Oh, mother, I've knocked my brother's head off, and she wept and could not be comforted. "You're not to open your mouth about this," her mother said. "We don't want anyone to know, and besides, there's nothing we can do about it now." When the boy's father returned, he immediately fell ill, and in his fever dreams could not ask after his son for days and days. His cruel wife hastily buried the boy out by the barn, but her daughter dug the bones up again, and as she dug, she cried and cried. Then she gathered them together and laid them beneath the juniper tree. As she put them there, she suddenly felt relieved and stopped crying. Now the juniper tree began to move. The branches separated and came together again as though they were clapping their hands in great joy. At the same time, smoke came out of the tree, and in the middle of the smoke there was a flame that seemed to be burning. Then a beautiful bird flew out of the fire and began singing magnificently. He soared high in the air, and after he vanished, the juniper tree was as it was before. Yet the bones were gone. This filled the little girl with a spirit of happiness. It was as if her brother was still alive, and she went merrily back into the house. Meanwhile, the bird flew far away and circled once around the earth and then returned to the home with the juniper tree, where he perched and began to sing. "My mother, she killed me. My father's left empty. My bones are laid under the juniper tree by my true-hearted sister, as neat as can be, and I am a little bird, coo-ee, coo-ee." To human ears, his song was no more than bird song ever is. But as he sang the song over and over, the people within the house felt a strange stirring within their breasts, although not of the same kind. "My mother, she killed me," sang the little bird. The mother stopped her ears, shut her eyes, and tried not to see or hear anything, but there was a roaring in her ears like a turbulent storm, and her eyes burned and flashed like lightning. She stood frozen to the spot. "My father's left empty," sang the little bird. The father was roused from his fever by the song and suddenly longed for his child as he never had before, even when his first wife lived. He felt a deep warmth and called out his boy's name. "My bones are laid under the juniper tree by my true-hearted sister, as neat as can be." The little girl ran outside and held out her hand with a tearful gladness. And as the bird sang, "I am a little bird, coo-ee, coo-ee," he flew down from the branches of the juniper tree and rested on her hand. This incensed the mother to such an anger that she rushed towards them. But no sooner did she come beneath the tree's branches than crack! A branch fell and hit her on the head and severed her neck from her body.
Oh my gosh.
From the spot where her blood and the little girl's tears of joy and the roots of the juniper tree met, the little boy rose up. He was unchanged, just as he had been before, and he and his father and his sister were very happy. They went into the house, sat down at the table,